This is gonna be so awkward.
What's up, guys?
Okay.
Welcome back to the channel. My name's Joel, and I have a very special guest with me today. This is my fiance. Her name is Courtney. Say hi.
Hi.
She hates this, but I'm so glad she's agreed forcibly. Didn't have a choice. So anyway, like this video, share it with everybody that you know to get that beautiful face all over the internet, because it's definitely better looking than mine. Yeah, and go ahead and hit that bell notification so you'll be reminded anytime that I post a video, and hopefully we can make it to where she'll be in these all the time. So anyway, without further ado, let's preach. You're supposed to.
So usually I'm behind the camera making sure that he doesn't like stare at himself too much, you know, the usual stuff.
Stare at myself too much.
Yeah, that's the reason we turned the camera around originally, remember? Because you would stare at yourself constantly. So usually I'm behind the camera.
Yeah, and this week I was able to pull her into the spotlight, which she hates, but you know, I got that kind of effect.
So we were thinking, like, what should we talk about? So I think we're gonna do a little like free talk.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't think you had to call it free talk. I feel like we could put that in the title, but sure.
Yeah, I think we should definitely do like a little free talk in the title.
So do you want to do it on 3?
Do what on 3?
Free
like
talk
say
on
it?
3, like 1, 2, 3. Free talk. Yeah.
Okay. Are we? Yeah.
Yeah. On 3?
Or after 3?
On 3.
On 3?
Let's not
like
start
pitch first. Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Free talk. Okay, so what do you want to talk about in our free talk?
I don't know.
No, you don't know? All right, I got a question.
Shoot me a question.
Did you, so when I was growing up,
Okay.
right, my dad, shout out to my dad. So growing up, my dad, I didn't get to indulge in the gloriousness of Saturday morning cartoons.
For real?
Like normal children, right? My Saturday morning cartoons were those like generic Jesus story
like
things.
VeggieTales or like
no, not even
See,
I liked VeggieTales.
I loved VeggieTales.
3-2-1 Penguins. I absolutely loved.
I
Some people
remember
are
that.
watching this video right now that are not like they were not raised in church. They have no idea what we're talking about. They're like, "What in God's name is that?" Google it. It'll change your life. But no, like I grew up 3-2-1 Penguins. Oh god.
Oh, Bible Man.
Bible.
Jesus.
Bro.
I had those on DVD.
Okay, so for those who don't know, quick disclaimer: Bible Man was a Bible superhero that went around conquering evil with the Word of God. Now, it's not. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. It's not as lame as it sounds.
No,
it was actually
I'm pretty
really
sure
cool.
it is.
Shut up.
Have you watched it in a while?
No, and I will not.
I don't remember it as much as you do.
Because I watched it all the time. It was.
So were you gonna ask me if that was something that I?
Yeah, I was gonna
encountered?
ask you if you got to enjoy actual real Saturday morning cartoons.
I don't remember if I was a Saturday morning cartoon watcher. I feel like I don't remember my Saturday mornings. The most I remember about my childhood was outdoors. So maybe I was just more
outdoorsy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean I was too. I think our whole generation was more outdoorsy.
For sure, because you could leave your door unlocked.
Oh stuff. Yeah, you could run down the street to your friend's house. All that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I just remember feeling left out and wondering if there was anybody in the distant universe that was that had to endure
Christian cartoons,
Christian superheroes like Bible Man.
Good Lord.
You can tell that we had very exciting
lives.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. It was a party, man.
When did you get saved? Like obviously we were born in church.
Yeah.
So getting saved is kind of like you were born into being saved.
Yeah,
but do you recall when you like I don't recall when I actually walked up to get saved or anything. I don't think that was ever a thing. But I do remember getting the gift of tongues and stuff.
So I got the gift of speaking in tongues when I was 4 years old, 5 years old.
Overachiever.
And but I think I guess I would mark the day I fully surrendered my life, I guess you could say,
At 4.5.
before I massively backslid, but we'll get to that later.
He's still.
Anyway, I guess so my dad, funny story, my dad took me to DCM.
When you were that young?
Fire on the Fields. I forget which, I was still in high school, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where I guess had my first
real encounter
where I could
comprehend
everything that was actually going on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And how old were you? 10?
I was probably 13, 14 maybe.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, so that was a really fun weekend. I didn't want to go, but it turned out to be a lot of fun.
That's how he is with a lot of stuff, wanting to go outdoors or do anything with his life other than COD. He doesn't want to do it, but as soon as we get there, he's like, thank you for making me a contribution to society.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, whatever.
So, to kind of switch gears, but also still kind of talking about Christianity because it's
our life.
For sure.
Yeah, does Jesus save my soul? No?
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, moving on.
So anyways, to talk about kind of a hot topic right now, the Lil Nas X shoes.
No pun intended, right? Satan shoes, hot topic.
Hell.
Hot.
Okay.
Hot. All right.
Cute. Funny.
Great.
Punny.
Just there's a 15-second skip where you can just get past that.
So anyways, I saw on social media today where someone was saying that some Christians are reacting in kind of a comical manner and not taking it serious enough. What do you think? Did you see that on social media where some people were saying that?
So no, I didn't necessarily see where people were joking about it. I have seen the
Chick-fil-A shoes?
Yeah, I've seen the Chick-fil-A shoes. Is that what they were referring to?
I don't know.
As being
And
a joke?
not to say that we think that's bad because we know the guy.
Yeah, I know the kid who created the meme
so
for
we're
those,
not
but
by any means saying that was
I
bad.
thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. You mentioned how why he kind of did this and why he's almost so calloused and cavalier towards hell and the devil. The music video is bad.
Yeah, and I think it's very touchy. Wouldn't recommend it. But I think that everything that we do that opposes God is done out of a place of pain, trauma, hurt, rejection,
for sure,
insecurities, all anxieties, all different types of things. And so I think I said something along the lines of, he had something happened to him when he was at church that made him callous toward God.
Yeah.
And it's
everyone's kind of saying that when he went to church as a child or however old he was, basically just a bunch of people were telling him when he came out as homosexual or gay, people were telling him that he was just going to go straight to hell.
And I think you have extremes on every level.
Yeah.
In every culture, in every religious group, you have extremes, right? We know this to be fact. That's not offensive. That's just a fact, right? Yeah. There are people that practice Islam that think that it's okay that they're doing a service to God by strapping a bomb to themselves and blowing up a bus.
Right.
In the same right, we as Christians have extremists that think it's okay and a honor to God to stand at gay pride parades with
And
God
bash-
hates,
Yeah.
you know, gays and all of this stuff,
Right.
signs, and nobody with that has a decent heart towards the things of God would think that that's okay.
Right.
And I you know, if you've met Christians that advocate for stuff like that, you're in the wrong area. Like,
Yeah.
because I've never met a single Christian that would ever be
Yeah,
down there
that's
holding
true.
up a sign like. I think
I
there's a
mean-
way to present the truth that is not a fit that is in love.
For sure.
And it doesn't always mean that the truth is not going to be offensive.
Right.
Right? Like, if you're doing something wrong, it could be whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it could be something as small and as stupid as, like, not wearing your seatbelt, and you call your friend out on it for not wearing a seatbelt and rattle off all the reasons why they should wear a seatbelt. Like, they could be kind of like,
get annoyed.
they could get annoyed or, like, slightly
do what I
offended. Like,
want.
I can do what I want.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need you to tell me that I'm being unsafe. I
Yeah.
feel safe, right? But even though what they're doing is not safe,
Yeah.
they feel like they're fine
Yeah.
because they haven't gotten into a car accident or whatever, so they think that they're fine.
Yeah.
And I think the same way can be into touchy issues like that. It's just a way of saying, listen, we're not going to make you out to be an outcast or cause you to
Right.
feel like an outcast or anything like that. You're accepted and loved,
Yeah.
but you just have to understand that we believe in a faith that you have an encounter with this man named Jesus, and
Mhm.
after you have this encounter, your life is completely different.
Yeah.
Every aspect of your life is completely
Yeah.
different.
And
You
he'll
come
deal
in
with
one
you.
way and you leave another.
Yeah.
And, you know, anybody that reads the Bible sees this in all the accounts that Jesus has with these people.
Yeah.
I mean, he has amazing encounters with people that we would deem to be like, I guess, Lil Nas X, right? Like, I mean, he encounters a prostitute
Yeah.
and, you know, says, go and sin no more, sends her back to the city where she was prostituting in,
Yeah.
and says, go change the city. And the Bible says that she changed the entire city.
Yeah.
Jesus had encounters where he touched people's lives to such a degree that they did not feel the need to have to do what they did previous.
Right. And that's
It
all.
wasn't that it was like a set of rules and laws that were like, don't do this because Jesus said so.
Yeah.
It was, no, I
You literally
experienced
didn't want to.
exactly, like I experienced such love and goodness
Yeah.
with this encounter with Jesus that I don't feel the need to do that anymore. I don't have to do that. And I
Yeah.
think that's the place that we have to get to. And with this little Nas X thing,
I mean, it's sad.
it is, and it's not right. I think the misunderstanding in all of this, and really what it has to do, because for him it boils down to church hurt.
Right.
That's what it boils down to. Like, he
Yeah.
got hurt in church, and he took what whoever did, said, however they treated him,
Yeah.
and he put that on God.
Right.
And that's where the misunderstanding is. People are people. We're human. We're going to make
Yeah.
mistakes. I'm going to upset you. You're going to upset me. We're going to
For
upset
sure.
people all the time. It's fine, right? Like, we're going to disappoint one another. We're
And
people.
it's not that it's fine. It's that you have to realize that we are human.
Yeah.
We are going to make mistakes. We're
Yeah.
not perfect. We strive to be like Jesus, who is perfect.
Right.
But we are always going to fall short. That's why we have to ask for forgiveness every single day.
Yeah.
That's why
That's
we
it.
have to repent.
You have two faults at hand. You have one where the church is a place of healing.
Yeah.
And people should not come to church expecting healing and receive more brokenness.
Yeah.
The place that heals you should not break you.
Yeah.
And for anybody that has experienced that, I would say I'm terribly sorry.
Yeah.
You know, the church should never be held to a standard of perfection,
Never.
but it should be held to a standard where it should not be dysfunctional.
Yeah. And if it is,
And if it
go
is,
to a different one. Like,
find
find a different one.
because I think again, the misunderstanding is a lot of times, because I went through a situation where me and a bunch of people that I went to youth group with, we went to this great church, and the pastor had an affair, church split, and a lot of people didn't go back to church for years.
Yeah.
And some might still not have ever gone back to church. And a lot of my friends kind of fell off for a little while because, and I feel like that a lot of times when situations like that happen, we put our pastor or leader or spiritual leaders
hold them
to such a standard of perfection. And it's not to say that any failure or fault that they have should be just pushed under the rug, you know, but at the same time, we've got to understand that they are growing. We never stop growing, we never stop learning, we never stop maturing. Just because somebody has to grow, learn, and mature in public, while you get to grow, learn, mature, fail in private, you know, doesn't mean that we're to oust everyone. And I'm gonna say something that probably is gonna get a lot of people upset. I love how, in relation to this Lil Nas X situation, I see a lot of church people quick to, you know, say God still loves him. You know, and that is absolutely true. I'm not saying that he doesn't. I'm not saying anything like that. But I love how they're so accepting of him being able to be restored and come back to God and all this stuff. But when their pastor does something they don't like, they'll leave the church for a month.
Because we, like you said, we hold Christians. And I mean, at the same time, we should be held to a higher standard. So it's kind of like you should be held to a higher standard.
Absolutely.
But if you make a mistake, don't automatically assume that you are completely lost.
And I think that is the beautiful nature and also mystery of grace.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of been over preached. I think it's been kind of watered down too. I think grace has been marginalized to, you know, you can do whatever you want.
Yes.
And God still loves you, and grace will just abound and
but
take
that's not
over.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think they make grace out to be this like loving, beautiful nature. And it's not.
Yeah.
Grace is not pretty.
No.
Grace is not beautiful. Grace is not warm and fuzzy. Grace is violent.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing this weekend in Easter Sunday is the grace of God.
Yeah.
Jesus taking 39 stripes was the grace of God.
Yeah.
Jesus hanging on a cross, flesh stripped from his body, blood pouring out, water pouring, that was the grace of God.
Yeah.
Him being buried in a tomb for him to rot, that was the grace of God. Him walking into hell, pulling out the keys so that we don't have to go there, that was the grace of God. And him resurrecting again. So this idea that grace is this beautiful cover and blanket that you can get to do whatever you want to do and then come to church on Sunday and God's going to forgive you is absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
And because that's not what the picture of grace is. Yeah. The picture of grace is the crucifixion of Jesus. That is the movie of grace.
It's not easy.
No.
It's not cute.
It's weighty, right? He had to carry a cross, broken, mind you, flesh falling, had to carry a cross. That's what grace is.
Yeah.
And he had his beard ripped out. He was mocked, right? That's what grace is.
It is beautiful, but it's beautiful not in the way that it's beautiful in the messiness and the imperfection of it all.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
It's beautiful in the redemption that comes with it. It's beautiful for us. Let me say it like that. It's beautiful for us, right? Because we get to come to God. Grace, I heard it put this way. Grace is the ability to do for us what we can't do for ourselves. Grace does for us what we can't do for ourselves.
Yeah.
We can't save ourselves.
Right.
But Jesus came within grace to save us. And I think that, that is a beautiful story.
Yeah.
And it should be portrayed in a beautiful story, but it's also a violent story.
Yeah.
And it's also one that, I think has to be told in its
full glory. Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think back to this little Nas X thing, I think I'm not surprised. I think my thing is, number one, it didn't shock me. It didn't surprise me. Hey, but my issue is not that. It's how we've gotten to the place where that is remotely acceptable.
Normal. Not even acceptable.
More people, from what I've seen, because I don't just follow Christians. I don't just have Christian friends. I just don't have people on my friends list and stuff like that. Yeah, I got 4,000. I don't know how many I actually know, but a lot of them.
You're talking about on Facebook?
Yeah.
Not in real life.
No way. But a lot of people that I scrolled today, I saw more shares of people that supported him, that were okay with it, that advocated for it, and that said, we stand with you. That's what I'm saying, bro. Most people will be like, you need to clean out, I can see my mom right now, you need to clean out your friends list. No, this is how I gauge culture.
Yeah.
Right? This is how I gauge where we're at in culture.
Yeah.
What's acceptable, what's not. Clearly, for most people, this is acceptable. And to me, the fact that it takes so much for the church to get outraged. They created a devil's shoe. Let's get outraged about that.
But now you have some Christians who are just overly, I think and I don't want to get too much, I think with today's culture, Christians, and not even just Christians, people have been is berated a right term? Have been so berated by standing up for anything if it wasn't popular, or if it's not popular.
Yeah.
We've been so berated that I think Christians are scared to, which is not okay, just FYI.
Right.
But we're scared to stand up for biblical truth, because if we do, we're not going to be liked. But the Bible literally says that that's how it's supposed to be. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, Jesus literally said if the world hates you, take heart because they hated me first. So the goal of Christianity is to be hated by the world.
Right.
If you're to be like Jesus, you're to be hated by the world. That's literally what Jesus said. If you want to be like me, you're going to deny yourself, you're going to take up your cross, and the world is going to hate you. Yeah. And if we did not see that throughout the rest of the Bible, where people were stoned and boiled and hung upside down, all these ridiculous things, and pastors are freaking out because their video got taken down on Facebook and I'm being persecuted. Shut up. No, seriously, to your point, though, I think Christians have played from such a defeated place for so long. We've been taught to always, we're always the come from behind story. We're always it's better to be defeated so that you can have an overcoming testimony. And it's at what point do the violent take it by force? At what point do we stop being so defeated, have our voices muzzled, and when we speak out against things like this, culture speaks louder and silences us, and then we go sit in a corner and take it. Well, I guess we'll come back now. No, this is why we're at where we're at. Is because you voiced your opinion, it got shut down, and you sat down and you took it. It was like David and Goliath. His brothers and that army would go out and march out to confront Goliath. Goliath would say some mean things, talk crap about their God, talk crap about how they looked, talk how that one had funny teeth, that one was short, right? Made them insecure, made them feel bad. And then all of a sudden they went back and huddled in their tents to fight another day. And finally David comes out and is like, y'all are absolute trash. Are you kidding? You're going to let this dude talk? David was tiny. Giant Goliath was huge. And David was like, you're going to let culture talk about you and dictate how you respond? Absolutely not. I don't need a sword. I don't need all this stuff. Give me my sling and give me God and I'll take down a giant. Like it makes me so mad because we and I think this is why culture and some people look at the church and they're like, I don't take you serious. Because you talk about all this power, you talk about all this Holy Ghost power, you talk about all of this victory that you so walk in, and you are constantly posting out of your defeat. You're constantly praying out of your defeat. You're constantly talking out of your defeat. Yeah. And it's like, at what point do you actually believe that God made you victorious and not just something to shout and run around the church about on Sunday?
Have a good little Sunday service.
And then go back on Monday and talk about how horrible your life is.
Yeah, I mean, you're calling me out, so keep talking.
No, but it's just, so that's why I don't I don't think the Lil Nas X thing is right. But to sit here and think that is like,
and I think we need
to sit here and honestly think that is the biggest issue right now in society is a massive understatement. The fact that people are more pissed off about Nas X than they are about TikTok, which is basically turned into pornography for children, is absolutely asinine to me. Like, parents are freaking out because Nas X put out a devil's shoe and twerked on Satan. Mind you, your son and daughter have been watching naked dudes and half-naked girls twerking on their TikToks every day.
For about a year now.
For over a year now.
Yeah.
Like, this is nothing new, should be expected, and you should have already held up a standard in your home to combat this, but you haven't because you don't pay attention, and because you, I don't like, it's just, it's very frustrating because we talk about having the antidote and then we hoard it. Because here's the problem, and this is what's happened and it's entered our churches. If the church does not talk about these issues, gender, sexuality preferences, just everything going on, politics, like whatever. If the church does not talk about it, then culture will talk about it.
Right.
And your kids and generations and people will be molded and shaped by the culture because they're talking about it the most. It's culture that's talking about relationships the most.
Yeah.
Right?
But anyways.
So
I'm gonna cap it off because you will keep talking.
I will keep talking, and it's
literally
probably
the whole
like
night, and I'm hungry. If we're being honest,
this is like a 25-minute video, I'm sure. So
it's already 30.
Buckle up.
Hopefully, you actually watch to the end of this. I know it's gonna be a butt to have to upload.
I feel like we're entertaining enough.
I wouldn't claim that. Before.
All right, clap it off.
Anyways, I hope. Why are you on your phone? We're
you
literally doing a video.
You said you were capping it off.
I'm capping off right now. Like saying,
we absolutely love you. We thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you watched to this part because it's probably absolutely hilarious to you. We're going to go eat. Please like this video, share it, hit that bell notification so you'll know whenever we do something funny like this again. If we ever do something funny like this again. We love you. I'm out. Let it preach. I'm gone.
Good God. Come on, Popo.